Welcome sa ating channel mga kaibigan, and yes, we are here with another MSI build. This time, hindi na po Intel ang ginamit natin. We will be using the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X and yes, the all-new MSI RTX 3070 Trio. So yan po yung ating video card and yan din po ang ating motherboard. We have here the X570 Tomahawk. I think this is kumbaga yung pinaka-sakto lang na build. The intention of this video is to show you guys kung ano yung magiging performance or preview ng isang almost all MSI yung gagamitin nating components, from the casing, yung AIO liquid cooling system, video card, motherboard, almost all MSI. At the same time, of course, hindi tayo gagamit ng medyo mahal na motherboard. We will just be going for the bang for the buck in terms of performance na X570 Tomahawk, and then sakto lang din na 3070 video card for a Ryzen 7 processor. Dahil nga, ang gusto kong ipakita sa inyo, hanggang saan aabot ang budget mo if you are aiming to have a Ryzen 7. At the same time, in terms of production and gaming, balance lang po yung kanyang performance. Alright, so sit back and relax mga kaibigan, and let's see how will this build performs. This video is brought to you by SCDKey, the best website that you may visit in terms of very affordable deals and best offer para sa application softwares, games, and yes, operating system. And there you are, you may check the Windows 10 Pro, and by using our promo code, ma-avail mo lang siya ng around $14.95 or 700 plus pesos. That's it mga kaibigan. Check the description below. May mga links po tayo dyan to go directly sa kanilang website. Alright, so that's the very quick time-lapse video of this build, how I put together the components. Since ang intention ng ating video is to give you a preview of how cool is an all MSI PC build, at the same time, of course, a very balanced pagdating sa production and gaming. So start muna natin sa ating mga components with the chassis. I love how MSI improved or evolved in the past few months, since recently lang naman sila nag-release ng mga chassis. They are not really a company na into chassis. Nagsimula talaga sila dyan sa mga component like motherboard, video card, dyan talaga sila. Pero lately, nauso na sa mga mainstream brands to produce their own chassis, like even other competitors ng MSI. And yes, I love how they improved. Ang dami nilang variants na ni-release. At the same time, eto, pinili ko to. Personal choice ko actually Gungnir 110M kasi nga mesh po yung kanyang harap. So, it's not a bit pricey na chassis kasi meron naman siyang kasamang 3 fans, RGB fans. Pero makukuha mo lang siya at around 4,000 to 5,000 on normal pricing. And yung pagka-mesh sa kanyang harap, yun yung isa sa mga pinakamagandang selling point niya talaga. So it's a bang for the buck chassis. Then when you look inside, we are able to fit yung RTX 3070 Trio. Madalas sa mga compact chassis, minsan pag mga long video cards like RTX 3070 Trio, hindi na yan mag-fit. Pero with this, we are able to install the video card, even merong naka-install na fans. As long as there is a good enough cutouts and meron siyang rubber grommets, which is really good for the price, I think it's a very worth it chassis. If you will remove the fans na included, itong non-RGB fan dito sa likod, and then yung tatlong RGB fan sa harap, maybe this chassis will just be worth around 2,000 more or less. Ganun lang yung pricing ng chassis. Pero since meron siyang kasamang mga fans, then if you will compute the costing, talagang aabot talaga siya sa 4,000 more or less. And it's very worth it pagdating sa kanyang price. Very worth it. The steel, the materials, hindi rin naman tinipid. Makapal yung kanyang tempered glass, at the same time, yung kanyang steel. Okay, so since buong PC build yung ating pinapakita, let's make this very, very quick. Now, let's move on sa ating AIO. Of course, nagamit na natin tong AIO before. I love this AIO because yung kanyang pump is nandun sa mismong radiator. Very unusual yung ganyang design, but it really works. Especially pagdating sa controversial na radiator placement, di ba? Sabi natin, dapat nasa taas, dapat nasa harap, dapat nasa ganitong position. Well, if the pump is already in the radiator, then you have no worries kung saan mo ilalagay yung radiator. You may just install it in front. At the top, bahala ka kung saan mo i-install yung radiator. And then the motherboard, X570 Tomahawk, it's already widely recognized model of MSI as really the best in terms of bang for the buck pagdating sa performance and then pagdating sa pricing. Pero the reason why I choose this motherboard, aside from the performance, is of course the Wi-Fi. Meron na siyang kasamang Wi-Fi, and it's very rare for a worth 11K motherboard na meron na rin kasamang Wi-Fi, given the performance is really good in terms of VRM. And then yes, the RTX 3070 video card Trio. This is really, if not the best, pagdating sa mga competition, it's one of the best choice that we may consider. And yes, as you can see sa ating mga gaming benchmarks or gameplay na record, makikita nyo that the performance in terms of cooling is really good. And that is given with the very cool ambient temperature na meron tayo ngayong February, which is 29 degrees Celsius. Pero with that kind of benchmark, pagdating sa temperature ng video card, we are really sure na kahit umabot ng summer without aircon, just the room temperature or climate controlled temperature, there's still plenty of headroom for the video card na hindi pa rin mag-overheat. And we can also see that in terms of AAA games na kahit sinagad-sagad na natin yung settings para talagang bugbugin yung video card, we see that the temperature is still at a very good position. Ang ganda ng kanyang performance din with other games like Dota 2, yung mga pinaka-common games. Actually, 3070 is a very overkill video card pagdating sa Dota 2. Pero as you see naman sa ating benchmark, we are hitting 200 FPS. And makikita nyo rin with the AAA games like GTA 5, medyo sinagad natin yung settings at a 1440p resolution. Makikita nyo rin na nasa position siya ng 70 average FPS. While pagdating sa GTA 5, you might question it, bakit parang mababa? Other gamers have even higher FPS. Yes, it is depende po sa ating settings. We have a 1440p resolution, at the same time sinagad talaga natin sa pinakamataas to see how will this 3070 performs at a maximum quality settings ng GTA 5. Pero what's more important naman na makikita natin dito is all of the games we experience no stutter except with the Hitman 2. So medyo may konting stutter lang tayo na encounter sa Hitman 2 na game, pero other AAA games sa tinest natin is well, so far okay naman po lahat. Well, sobrang dami na pong benchmark ng 3070 even with this channel. Marami na rin kayo nakita, pero I'm just giving you at least supporting details or preview how will this 3070 performs with AMD Ryzen 7 5800X. At the same time, of course, I want also to add paano naman yung kanyang performance with Lumion. So, we tried one of the templates ng Lumion. By the way, bakit ko po hina-highlight yung Lumion na software? Parang bibihira naman yung gumagamit niyan. Actually, marami pong nagtitake din ng architecture or some kind of engineering or multimedia arts related courses. So, I think it's very worth it din ipakita sa inyo. How will this video card performs in terms of softwares na more on GPU usage pagdating sa rendering. Ito kasing Lumion ang magbibigay ng medyo maganda-gandang preview sa atin. And with the settings na sinet ko po is 1080p resolution at the same time 3-star quality, makikita natin na kaya niyang ni-render yung ating template within an hour. So gumamit pa ako ng template for you guys to replicate the benchmark with your video card sa inyong bahay. Then see how far is the distance pagdating sa rendering. Kasi makikita rin naman natin that it's more on the GPU usage. I have shown you guys there yung task manager natin pagdating sa CPU usage, and makikita nyo dyan talaga na yung ating MSI Afterburner giving you the details ng GPU talagang naka-crank up sa pinakamataas na frequency. So, it's more on the GPU usage talaga ang mga ganitong softwares like Lumion. Even with the Blender 3D, it is the same na more on GPU po yung ginagamit natin para mas mabilis yung rendering. Actually, we also tried both CPU and GPU, pero talagang mas lamang talaga ng malayo ang GPU pagdating sa rendering ng mga ganitong klase ng projects. Kaya sa mga kaibigan natin dyan, if you want to buy a gaming PC, but also planning to take a course na into production engineering architecture, better balance your budget. Now, you might question me on this part. Baka tanongin nyo sa akin na, Sir, ang pinapakita mo naman sa amin is mga softwares na more onto GPU. At the same time, this unit will be more for gaming. Bakit hindi nalang tinaasan pa yung video card to RTX 3080 and then disregard the 5800X, nagsettle ka na lang sana sa 5600X? Well, may point ka. Yes, tama yun. May point ka po. Pero, alalahanin po natin na pagdating po kasi sa mga production and gaming PC builds, my rule is always make it balanced. Kasi pagdating po sa ating production, hindi lang naman po yung magre-render ang gagawin mo. Yes, in terms of rendering, it will be more on the GPU. Pero in terms of production, editing process, it will be also more on the RAM and it's more on the CPU. Kasi hindi ka lang naman mag-open ng Lumion. You will also be opening programs like SketchUp and other tools like browsers and applications in the background. So even I'm stating in here in this channel that benchmark won't lie. There are still some considerations and factors why we need to balance everything para kahit paano mas maging maganda yung ating experience. Kasi rendering is just in the last stage pagdating sa ating user experience kung bibili tayo ng isang build na into gaming at the same time into production. By the way, hindi ko rin naman pwedeng sabihin na mali naman na itaas natin yung video card to RTX 3080 at ibaba yung processor to 5600X. Pero mas reasonable siya kung ang main purpose ng ating build is more on gaming. So that's it mga kaibigan, ng aking quick preview of what build you may consider if you are at this kind of budget and you want to build an MSI at the same time a balanced gaming and production PC build. Alright, so that's it guys. For more videos like this, feel free to subscribe and comment down below. Thank you so much and have a nice day ahead.